Welcome to the Fox's Den. I'm Roxanne, and this is the kitchen segment. Today we're going to be using my Instapot, and we're going to be making pumpkin soup just in time for Thanksgiving. Okay, here we go. Not difficult to make. This is really easy, and it takes 10 minutes in the Instapot, and I will show you about the Instapot, how it works if you're not familiar. And if you don't have one, you can still make this recipe. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I have organic products here. You don't have to use organic, you can use what you want. So we have, and of course, all of the ingredients will be in the description below. We have a can of pumpkin puree. We have here a half a cup of chopped up carrots, half of a sweet onion chopped up, and 2 cloves of garlic. We also have some chicken broth. You could use, instead of chicken broth, you could use vegetable broth, so it is strictly vegetarian. That is perfectly fine. But I'm not going to be using all of this. You only need 2 cups. The entire soup is 6 cups. And if you wanted to double the recipe, we'll talk about that too. So let's get started with a little tutorial on the Instapot. You can use any Instapot. There are several out there. This one also makes yogurt, which is cool. It pasteurizes, and it has all of the buttons right here. It has really great instructions. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to zero in on the button that says pressure and cook, because we're going to be using the manual setting where you would just press this button in and hold it, and then it'll just be in manual setting. It's not specific to a soup or a stew, and you can control it here on how many minutes you want it to cook. If you choose to double the recipe, you do not have to double the cooking time. What's going to happen is the pressure cooker inside of here, inside the Instapot, will just take a little longer to get ready. But you do not have to double the cooking time. That might cause it to burn. And of course, there's always a safety icon that comes up or message that lets you know what's happening. And if you read your instructions to the Instapot, it'll tell you if something is too hot, if it's burning, if there's something wrong with the steam valve. There's all kinds of cool things that you can look at. You really do have to read it over. It took me all of 5 minutes. And then I did a little 2-minute test run to make sure it works. But in 8 minutes, we're going to have pumpkin soup, and Jamie is going to be very excited because we're doing a test run before Thanksgiving, and she can't wait to try it. Okay, here we go. So I don't have it plugged in yet. I'm going to fill it up with what I want, what ingredients I want. I'm going to start off with 2 cups of chicken broth. And I'm just going to dump that in there. Now again, you could use vegetable broth if you wanted. Okay, I've got that in. And then what I'm going to do next is put in the carrots. Remember, that was a half a cup of carrots chopped into chunks. And then I have half of a sweet onion that I'm going to dump in, and I have 2 cloves of garlic. You can add more, you can add less. It depends upon your taste buds. And then I'm going to add the can of pumpkin, and then I'm going to set the Instapot on manual, and it will cook for 8 minutes, and then I will show you the next step. I'm giving it a quick stir. This was 1 can. It's usually about 15 ounces on the outside. It's just standard. And then I'm going to turn the lid onto the Instapot. It is plugged in. It's making its noise. Okay, it's clicked. I have to make sure that the steam valve is on sealed, okay? And then I'm going to, like I showed you earlier, I'm going to press on that button until the manual part comes up. And now I can adjust the timing on it. I want it to be 8 minutes. You can hear it beeping, and it is getting ready. And then it will cook for 10 minutes. I'm sorry, then it will cook for 8 minutes. Again, if you wanted to double this recipe, you could have a cup of carrots, 2 cans of pumpkin, a whole onion, 4 cloves of garlic, and 4 cups of broth. and put it in here. You do not have to double the cooking time. What will happen is the pressure that's building in here, it'll just take a little longer, and then the cook time will still be 8 minutes, okay? All right, it kind of senses it in here. When this is finished, I'll show you how we finish it off. We're gonna need coconut milk. We're going to need a cup of it. You can use full fat coconut milk. You could use light coconut milk if you wanted to, just to know that if you use the light, it'll be less creamy. And then we are going to add that in. Once this cools down a little bit, we'll emulsify it, and I will show you how to do that. We're going to add the coconut milk, and then we're going to add salt and pepper, and then we're going to garnish it with these lovely, yummy, toasted pumpkin seeds. Stay tuned. Instapot cool down, and the next step is to take your immersion blender and put it inside and just smooth it out. It already is very smooth, except for maybe the chunks of the onion and the carrot might not be as smooth. They'll be mushy, but not super smooth. I do not know where my immersion blender went. So I'm using this. Very simple, put it in, twirl it around. It's not gonna take long. Then I'll let you see what the consistency is like. Next, you can add a little salt and pepper. And then you add in a cup of the coconut milk. Which makes it creamy. Give it a stir. Thickens it up. Again, yours could be even creamier or smoother than mine because you'll use the immersion blender. Next, I'm gonna put it in a bowl and top it off with our toasted pumpkin seeds. You don't have to do that. You could do a little dollop of sour cream, or you could do maybe, if you're into green onions, a sprinkle of green onions. I'm going to sample it, let you see what it looks like. It's going to be a good thing. Now I'm going to try it out. It's not very thick. There's a slight, it's not sweet like a dessert sweet, but there's a slight sweetness to it because of the carrots and because of the coconut milk. But it's really creamy. You can taste the pumpkin, but it's not overpowering. It's good. It's good. It has just the right amount of salt to it. I like it. Thanks, Jamie, for suggesting it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for tuning into the Fox's Den.